Hello, my lovelies, and welcome back to Allegra's Advent. Today is day 8, and I shall be doing a little bit of a rundown of stocking fillers for children under £5. Now, I have a 2-year-old, so I have a 2-year-old boy, so some of the things on this list are obviously more aimed at boys, and I have tried to find some things for young girls as well, and I would say the age range that I've gone for is between the ages of about 2 and 8, I reckon. So in that kind of age range, little things that boys or girls would really like for under £5. Now, the first thing that I want to talk about is tissues. Now, this may seem really odd, but in supermarkets you can get boxes of tissues that are really novelty, really cool. You can get like Frozen ones and Paw Patrol ones, etc, etc. And they're about £1, £1.99. I think it all depends on where you go. And it makes them feel very grown up if they've got like a little box of tissues in their bedroom. And yeah, it's something that I always got as a small child. The next thing that I want to mention is paints. Now, obviously, I want you to make sure that the paints are child safe. Always. You can pick up little like paint sets, whether they be sort of water activated paints for about £1, or you can pick up things like poster paints in places like Tesco's or Poundland, and they're always really fantastic. My son absolutely loves painting, and I think most other children do. And in the same vein, the next thing that I want to talk about is paintbrushes. You can get little packs of paintbrushes in craft stores for really, really cheap, probably about £1 to £2 you can pick them up for. They don't have to be great quality. They are for children, and they are probably going to get broken or shoved in an orifice. So, yeah, you can get them really, really cheap in lots of different places, and kids absolutely love them. Okay, this is something that I got for my son this year. Obviously, this is more aimed at boys or sort of more tomboyish girls. It all depends. I mean, you can get these for any kids, really. It's not really gender relevant. And that is, I bought these online. They were £2.99 for a pack of 10 little cars. My son absolutely adores cars and dinosaurs. And yeah, they were like £2.99. I ordered them. They came really, really quickly. They come in a nice box, and I'm pretty sure, will absolutely love them. Okay, the next thing that I want to mention is hair clips. This is more aimed at little girls. You can get some really, really cute hair clips out there with bows on and all sorts of different interesting things, you know, Frozen ones if that's what they're into, princess ones, blah, blah, blah. You can get, if you want to go for the more expensive ones, you can go to places like Claire's, but you can get like hair clips in pharmacies for like £1. You can pick them up very, very cheap in some places, and little girls always love to receive princess hair clips because they get to be princesses. Okay, the next thing again is aimed probably more at little girls, and that is dolly clothes. You can pick up dolly clothes incredibly cheap, or you can even buy really small baby clothes if that's what you want to do. When I was younger, my doll clothes normally came from charity shops, and they were normally actually just baby clothes. They weren't aimed at dolls. You obviously can pick them up new if that's what you want and use them as a main present. But my mum always used to get me sort of really small baby clothes in charity shops for like 50p each, and I would use those to dress my dollies in. And I think they make really lovely little stocking fillers, especially if you have bought your child a doll like as a main present for that year. It gives them like that little, oh well, why have I got dolly clothes? Maybe I have that dolly that I wanted. Or if they've already got a dolly, just a little bit extra to add to their wardrobe. Okay, the next thing is again probably aimed more at little girls than little boys. However, I have got my son one because he likes to brush his hair, and that is hairbrushes. You can buy really little hairbrushes. I have one, well, I did have one up here somewhere, but I don't know where it's gone. I had a really dinky hairbrush that was fantastic, like small size, perfect for little people's hands, and you can pick them up very, very cheap for sort of £1, £1.99 or something ridiculous, and they really, really like them. Again, it makes them feel very grown up if they've got their own hairbrush, makes them feel like they're like mummy or like they're just a big girl or boy now, and yeah, they really love them. The next thing that I want to talk about are puzzles. You can pick up puzzles for incredibly, incredibly cheap. I got my son one for, I think it was 75p last year. It was a Peppa Pig counting puzzle. You can pick them up for very cheap, and actually they make very good stocking fillers because they can fill up quite a bit of space. If, like us, instead of like stockings for your kids, you do sacks. They can fill up and take up quite a lot of room, which is great because it's sort of something that's cheap that bulks it out a little bit. And they obviously, most children do like puzzles. If your child isn't a puzzle lover, then obviously you can get something else, but this is just something that my son really enjoys, is doing puzzles, and yeah, you can get them for excessively cheap. The next thing are hairbands. Again, probably more for little girls. You can get some really nice cute little Disney princess or Frozen hairbands. And again, I mean, if you want to go probably more a little bit upmarket, then you can go to places like Claire's. However, you can pick them up incredibly cheap in places like Poundland or pharmacies, Boots, Superdrug, all of those sorts of places. You can pick them up very cheap. And again, it makes them feel like they're a special princess and they really love them. Okay, the next thing that I want to mention is an alarm clock. Now, this may sound very odd, however, my son is obsessed with alarm clocks, which is why I've got him one this year. Again, I think it's something to do with making them feel like they're a grown-up, that they have their own alarm clock that they get up to. I think my son just likes twiddling with the bits, but obviously if your child is slightly older, then it's probably a good present to get them, just to make them feel like they're a grown-up and to start teaching them how to tell the time, or teaching them how to get up at a certain time, etc, or to go to bed at a certain time. You know, if they're in bed and they're sort of reading or playing, and you can say, you know, oh, once the big hand gets to the 12 and once the little hand gets to the 7, then you have to go to bed, or whatever. You know, you can teach them the time with them. And again, you can get them very cheap. I got my son's one in Poundland, so it was £1, obviously. It's fluorescent green, and we've also got him some dinosaur stickers to go on it, and that is another very good present for little children, and that is stickers. They adore sticking things to things, and if it's something they really love, like for example my son with dinosaurs, they will really enjoy them. Okay, next up is chocolate coins. Now this is always something that I got in my stocking as a child. Again, you can get them for very cheap, like 50p in supermarkets. And it's just something that was always in my stocking. It was the one thing I always knew to expect, and it's always been a bit of a tradition in our family. Other families do other things, but for us it has always been the chocolate coins. And yeah. Next up is rubbers. You can get some really cool sort of novelty rubbers in places like Poundland, The Works, anywhere really. You can get these really cute novelty rubbers, all depending on what your child is into. For example, my son loves dinosaurs. I haven't got him rubbers this year because I think he's a little bit young to know what they do. But obviously, if your child is older, then you can get all kinds of different rubbers, normally for very cheap. You can get packs of them online on eBay for like £1, 99p or so, and they make really good stocking fillers. The next step, ooh, my voice went then, is novelty sponges. Now, my son absolutely loves having a sponge in the bath. We're not sure why. I think it's the texture of it, or I don't know. But we always get him one for it. They do them in Morrison's, and you can get frogs and ducks and all sorts of hippos, all sorts of things, and they all come in bright colours, and they're about 50p each. You can pick up novelty sponges in lots and lots of places. Like I said, most supermarkets do them. And I think places like Superdrug and Boots do them, and they're really good presents. Like I said, 50p, and you've got a sponge for a very happy little boy. Okay, again, this next gift is probably more aimed at little girls in the older end of this spectrum, so sort of 6, 7, 8, and if they have their ears pierced, and that is to get them a little pair of very cute earrings. Now, I sort of went to Claire's for this one, so they are a little bit more on the pricey side, sort of more like £3-4, but if your little girl does have their ears pierced and they really love wearing earrings, you can get some really cute ones. They do things like bumblebees and cats and all sorts. Or you can go in the opposite direction, where if they don't have their ears pierced but they love to wear like pretend earrings, you can get the little stick-on earrings for really cheap, and they're really fantastic. So another fantastic little gift for a little girl. The next thing on my list is pencils. Now, this is obviously in drawing or colouring pencils, depending on the age of your child. I've got my son some colouring crayons, just because he's so young, but he absolutely adores to draw and colour in. So I've got him some colouring pencils, and again, you can pick these up so cheap in places like Asda's and Morrison's. You can get them for really good quality and really low prices, so they're definitely worth it. Okay, the next thing is something that I have always got my son for Christmas, and I think will probably always do, and that is pants or knickers, depending on obviously the gender of your child. Obviously my son's got pants. If you have a little girl, then get knickers. You can buy beautiful little packs, really cute, really fun packs of knickers in supermarkets and places like that, or places like Matalan. They do some really good ones, and you can get them for £3 or £4, depending on, I think they go up in price the older the child. So like for example, my son is only 2.5, so his pack were about £3, I believe. And you can get some really cute ones with all different styles on, obviously depending on what your child is into. Next thing is again something I always get, and that is socks. Socks for little people are incredibly valuable to the parents, for a start, and also to them. You will never understand how little people lose their socks. Like, I don't know how it happens, but you can buy 10, 12 pairs of socks, and within 2 weeks you've got about 4 pairs left, and the rest of them are just single socks, and you don't know where the rest of them have gone. So I always get my son packs of socks. This year, I don't know why, I got them in TK Maxx because they were like $2.99, and they were a little pack of penguin socks, and they were very cute. However, you can get them in all sorts of other places. Again, supermarkets are fantastic, places like Matalan, Peacocks, all kinds of different places sell little people socks, and they always come in a fantastic variety of patterns and with different things on, monsters or whatever, and they're really fantastic for little people. The next thing that I have is a flannel. Again, this is probably more for my son because he loves flannels. I don't know why. But we've got him a little flannel. It was 75p in Asda, so definitely excellent value for money. And I just think getting them something like that, again, I don't know why, it just makes them feel really grown up. Like, oh look, I'm washing myself. It makes them feel like a grown up, and they absolutely love it. Which leads me on to the next thing, which is bubble bath. Now, I'm sure everybody in the UK knows of Matey. If you don't know what Matey is, it is simply a bubble bath in a bottle shaped like a pirate. And you can get all different sorts. You can get the captain, you can get the first mate, and I think there's a parrot one as well. But Matey is fantastic. We're not sure why. It normally comes, like, throughout the year, it goes on offer for like £1, where it is normally more expensive than that. However, I always get it when it goes on offer, and I store it away for Christmas. I don't know why. There's just something about the novelty bottles that kids absolutely adore. Again, you can get other ones. You can get Paw Patrol. You can get princess ones if you've got a little girl. You can get Transformer ones, I think. You can get Star Wars ones. So basically anything your child is into, you can get a novelty bottle of bubble bath. He's got a Matey one, and I think he's also got a Peppa Pig one, which he absolutely loves. So the next thing is soap. Now again, these are sort of more for older children, I think, because they do tend to sort of use soap more. And again, I'm thinking more along the lines of novelty soap. You can get some absolutely really cute novelty soaps online, and you can also get them in like sort of Star Wars and all of these sort of things. This is probably a slightly more expensive item, I would say, probably about £2-3.99, but they do make children very happy. I don't know why. The next thing is pens. This again is probably more for the older child who enjoys to colour in with pens rather than crayons. And again, you can pick these up so cheap in so many different places. The Works, Asda, Morrison's, wherever they do sell packs of pens, you will pick them up for about £1, and kids really love them. Okay, and the next thing, or the last thing actually, in my little list that I came up with is a colouring book. Now, kids love to get colouring books because they love colouring. Most children do, and again, they come in so many different sort of themes and categories: princesses, monsters, dinosaurs, Paw Patrol. You can get them in all different kinds of themes, and kids absolutely adore them. And I've just had another thought, and again, this is books. You can buy books for like £3 for £5 in the Works for kids. Generally younger children, sort of books that you would read to your child, things like the Gruffalo's Child or the Stickman or the Gruffalo. In the Works, they do them for about £3 for £5, so they make absolutely fantastic stocking fillers. You can separate them and maybe give sort of, you could buy 3 and give them to 3 different children if you have 3, or you have friends with other kids. And yeah, they make absolutely fantastic little gifts. They're very easy to wrap, they're very cheap, and they fill up some space. So that's it for this little stocking filler ideas. I hope I gave you a little bit of inspiration. Please let me know down in the comments if you have any other ideas for some people here for children's stocking fillers. I love you all very, very much, and I will see you tomorrow for Vidmas Day 9, or as I am calling it, Allegra's Advent. Thank you very much, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye! Oh, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and press the big red subscribe button as well. I'm going to put in a cheeky little plug at the end of my videos, so thank you very much for watching, and I love you all. Bye-bye.